नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14th, Brahma's Prayer to Lord Krishna, Text 42. Tato anujñāpya bhagavān sva-bhuvaṁ prāg avasthitān vatsān pulinam āninye yathā-pūrva-sakhaṁ svakam tato anujñāpya bhagavān sva-bhuvam prāg avasthitān vatsān pulinam āninye yathā-pūrva-sakhaṁ svakam tato anujñāpya bhagavān sva-bhuvam prāg avasthitān vatsān pulinam āninye yathā-pūrva-sakhaṁ svakam. Word meanings: tataḥ, then; anujñāpya, giving permission; bhagavān, the Supreme Lord; sva-bhuvam, to his own son Brahma; prāk, from before; avasthitān, situated; vatsān, the calves; pulinam, to the shore of the river; āninye, he brought; yathā-pūrva, just as before; sakham, where the friends were present; svakam, his own. Translation: after granting his son Brahma permission to leave, the Supreme Personality of Godhead took the calves, who were still where they had been a year earlier, and brought them to the riverbank, where he had been taking his meal and where his cowherd boyfriends remained just as before. Purport: the word sva-bhuvam, to his own son, indicates that Lord Krishna forgave the offense Brahma had committed and treated him with affection as his son. It is stated in this verse that the original cowherd boyfriends and calves were situated just as before, near the bank of Yamuna river and in the forest, respectively. Previously, the calves had disappeared within the forest, and Lord Krishna had gone to search for them. Not finding them, the Lord had returned to the river bank to discuss the situation with his cowherd boyfriends, but they had also disappeared. Now cows were once again in the forest, and the boyfriends once again on the bank of the river, ready to take their lunch. According to Srila Sanatana Goswami, the calves and the boys remained in the forest and on the river bank, respectively, for 1 full year. Lord Brahma did not actually take them away to another place. By the Lord's omnipotent illusory energy, the gopis and the other residents of Vrindavan did not notice the calves and the boys. Nor did the calves and the boys notice the passing of years' time or feel any hunger, cold, or thirst. All this was part of the pastimes arranged by Lord's illusory potency. Lord Brahma thought, I have kept all the boys and calves of Gokul sleeping on the bed of my mystic potency, and to this very day they have not risen. A similar number of boys and calves have been playing with Krishna for one whole year. Yet they are different from the ones illusioned by my mystic potency. Who are they? Where did they come from? Nothing is invisible to the Supreme Lord. Thus Lord Krishna appeared to be searching for the calves and boys only to enact the dramatic pastimes of bewildering Lord Brahma. After Brahma surrendered and offered prayers, Lord Krishna returned to the original boys and calves, who appeared exactly as before, although their size had somewhat increased because of 1 year's growth. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, since Lord Krishna was playing exactly like an innocent young cowherd boy in Vrindavan, after four-headed Brahma offered his prayers, the Lord maintained his role as a young cowherd boy and thus remained silent before Brahma. Krishna's silence indicates the following thoughts. Where did this four-headed Brahma come from? What is he doing? What are these words he keeps on speaking? I am busy looking for my calves. I am just a cowherd boy and do not understand all this. Lord Brahma had considered Lord Krishna an ordinary cowherd boy and had treated him as such. After accepting Brahma's prayer, Krishna continued to play as a cowherd boy and did not answer the four-headed Brahma. Rather, Krishna was more interested in rejoining his cowherd boyfriends for the picnic lunch on the bank of the Yamuna river. Please repeat translation responsively. After granting his son Brahma permission to leave, the Supreme Personality of Godhead took the calves, who were still where they had been a year earlier, and brought them to the riverbank, where he had been taking his meal, and where his cowherd boyfriends remained just as before. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamasya Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we are reading this 10th canto, a very special Srimad Bhagavatam itself is extraordinary amongst all the Vedic literatures. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, this 10th canto, which is the face of the Lord, so we are discussing on this, and especially in this, the most holy dham of Sri Vrindavan. So I seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas assembled here. You can bless me, so I can try to speak something, whatever I have heard or read in parampara. This is very important, very interesting. Everything is written. So that's why I said you should follow parampara. We have come to ISKCON to follow parampara, otherwise anyways we were following our mind outside also. You will have to excuse me for my coughing. So, our mind has been ruling on all the senses and rather on us also from billions of lifetimes, or as Prabhupada says, from time immemorial. If after coming and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the great acharyas in parampara, we still continue to follow our mind, then there is no difference. But someone will ask then, it's not that you take initiation and suddenly we are not like pure devotees who are enacting pastime. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu played the role of Nimai Pandit. And immediately after initiation he is changed. Did anything like that happen with any one of us? Maybe on that day, there is excitement, there are new beads, there are new neck beads, new name, but otherwise things remain almost same. So we are sadhakas, we are not siddhas. Who are siddhas, they enact pastimes. All these acharyas, they enact pastimes. And suddenly, it was not that Prabhupada was not a devotee and after meeting Bhakti-Siddhanta Thakur, he became a devotee. Prabhupada was always a devotee. Prabhupada said once himself that from my childhood, Maya has not touched me. Maya cannot touch Prabhupada. So these are all pastimes they are enacting. But we are sadhakas. I can say for myself, surely that I am a sadhaka, a conditioned soul who is on, who is continuing his journey. And by association of Vaishnavas and by association of spiritual master and Prabhupada's books and lectures and deities and Mahaprasad, gradually there is a transformation of the heart. If we protect ourselves from the offenses, Prabhupada said the advancement will be at much faster pace. If we commit offenses, then it's on a slower pace, or it may become stagnant also. So I just thought, because no personal comments, so it's good. We are here to just speak, so that's why I am seeking special blessing, so that I should not add anything coming from my fertile mind, but it should come from whatever we have read. So here, Lord Brahma, he just finished his prayers 2 verses back, 40th and 41st. Shukdev Goswami started speaking, and this is 42nd. So Brahma committed an offense. It was a pastime. So, after he realized what he has done, he came to his senses and he begged forgiveness in the form of prayers. One of the prayer, Brahma is saying, when the child is in the womb of mother, the child sometimes kicks the mother. But mother does not take it as an offense. Rather, mother is happy that my child is active. Only after reading third canto, we realize that child is kicking because he is getting suffocated. He is suffering inside. That's why he is just somehow moving his hands and legs. Lord Kapila explains this in great detail. So Brahma speaks, so if anyone comes to you after committing, an offense or a mistake or something happened and says, I'm sorry, and he is elaborating, what do? You say, okay, it's okay, Prabhu, it's okay. It's all right. It happens. We all are conditioned souls. Something. Krishna didn't speak a word to Brahma. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur clarifies in this verse, this purport. But before that, but Lord Krishna forgave. How can we understand? Our Acharyas explain. Shukadeva Goswami uses the word sva-bhuvam, his own son. That means Krishna has forgiven Brahma. Even though Brahma did further tapasya because of the offense, but Lord did not take it seriously. So, Krishna himself is teaching a great lesson of forgiveness. What if someone, commits a blunder? May not be offense, even a blunder or a mistake. And he comes after some time and seeks forgiveness. So, there are different responses we give. And these responses are based on our consciousness. So how we respond decides or tells us what is our consciousness. Because the responses are coming from the consciousness. The questions we ask to any other devotee, it's coming from the consciousness we have. Sometimes we see that challenging questions are being posed. So that is the consciousness of that person, of that sadhaka, and that is why the question is coming in the challenging mode. So similarly, if someone comes, sometimes we are in mode of goodness. Okay, it happens, Prabhu. Don't worry. Take this Mahaprasad, or let us sit and relish Mahaprasad together. Let us have lunch together. Let us do kirtan together. That very high level of consciousness is required. Sometime by mistake, we tend to be there. So that level of consciousness is different. Then there is another level where we kind of pause, okay, we have forgiven. It's okay, Prabhu, you don't have to beg forgiveness. It's all right. But inside, we have actually not forgiven that devotee. It remains. Now, because he has seek forgiveness, his part is done. But if we are not forgiving, then the karma is on us. How do we know we are forgiven? We will know. Our heart will speak. We know how much we are still, having that grudges inside us. And sometime after forgiving also, we go and tell everyone else, he did like that, he did like that, he did this blunder, he did this mistake, he offended me, somehow I forgave him. But when we are telling others, that means we have not forgiven. It's a tendency of a conditioned soul to go and tell. Two things are happening. One, we have not forgiven, but we are teaching to the world, we are telling the world, see, I am so magnanimous that I have forgiven that devotee. It's very difficult to forgive. Tolerance is easier, but forgiveness is very difficult. Even though tolerance is difficult, but we tolerate. And if you tolerate and inside you still have it, that means you have not forgiven. So that affects our bhajan. That affects our bhajan. A sadhaka's bhajan is affected if he doesn't forgive. If we analyze our life, we will see that we are forgiven more than we actually forgive, or we are tolerated more than we actually tolerate others. How much Krishna is tolerating us? Unlimited. From how many lifetimes? You never know. Every mistake he is tolerating. The moment I forget Krishna, that is conditioning. That is, I am trying to enjoy the world. So he tolerates. He allows me also to enjoy. And sometimes we, on the face only, we don't even talk to that devotee. Even if he comes to seek forgiveness, we don't even talk to him. We don't want to meet him. Prabhu, I don't want to see your face. It's very dangerous. Because he is repenting. Now he has come, whatever mistake he has done, he has come, he is asking forgiveness. So Krishna, without saying anything, sometimes we forgive, but we chastise that person. And we make him realize that what he has done. He has already realized, but we make sure that we make him realize 10 times more than what he has actually done. So Krishna is so, amazing personality. He didn't say a word. He didn't speak a word. He didn't say anything anywhere. And he just still forgive. This word, sva-bhuvam, his own son. And Shukadeva Goswami said, that means he has forgiven Brahma. But he is not speaking. He is not saying, Brahma, do you not know? Who am I? Why have I come? Because you came and asked. You came and requested that I should come and take birth here or appear here. I am doing your job and you are, offending me. Krishna didn't speak anything. That is very gentlemanly. And Prabhupada, wants devotees of ISKCON to become gentlemen. So, sometimes we tolerate, but still we keep holding because we have not forgiven. And that, because we have not forgiven, when we are chanting, you see those thoughts will come to your mind. Suppose I have some grudges, with Madan Mohan Krishna Prabhu. Yes, today something happened after Bhagavatam and I am still holding it. Okay, whole day I will not see his face. And the more I will think that I don't want to think about him, the more thoughts will come. That is how mind works. Somehow I neutralize that also. But tomorrow, when I sit here for japa, he is sitting there for japa. The moment I see his face, my chanting is gone. Because I will be in mode of ignorance. Thinking about past and thinking about all the grudges, so that will affect my sadhana. So that is why forgiveness is a very important quality a sadhaka should develop. If we are not able to forgive, we should analyze how we have been forgiven by our authorities, by seniors, by Guru, by Krishna. Imagine like every day, it's a wonderful program we have here every day. Our Dharmatma Prabhu announces after Mangala Arati. After all the announcement, anyone who has come new, please come on the right hand side room and you can chant. Someone has come to see Krishna for the temple darshan. How we treat? We welcome. Imagine if it is announced that, whoever is coming first time, just get lost from here. Book your return ticket, go out of Mathura. How will he feel? How will we feel? So this gesture of welcoming is actually from Krishna. Because devotees know Krishna is ready to welcome every soul. Even though what we have done it's undescribable. And still Krishna is ready to welcome us. Rather, he is eager to welcome us. When he sees that conditioned souls are not coming to temple, he goes out in the form of Lord Chaitanya for Nagar Sankirtan, in the form of Jagannath. He goes on the cart and lot of Sankirtan, and still people are closing their windows and doors, everything. In Bombay, sometimes, we have a Rath Yatra, annual Rath Yatra, and thanks to Corona, we are doing from last 2 years within the temple. A very confidential Rath Yatra. One devotee asked me, why is this temples closed? Why Krishna is allowing the temples to be closed? Corona is there, it's all under Krishna's control. I just jokingly said, Krishna wants to have confidential pastime with the devotees who are within the temple. Any problem? He said, no. I said, be happy. So obviously that was on a lighter note. So in Bombay, some people will come out. Most urban city in India, people will come out and they'll see what is there. Some people, just by hearing the Harinam, they'll immediately close all windows. But still Lord Jagannath will say, distribute prasad. The people of Kali Yuga are lazy, and prasadam, the process is easy. So give them prasadam. So Lord is more eager to welcome all of us. So why can't we forgive? And for our own benefit, let that other devotee go wherever he wants. But if I am holding it, it is affecting my bhajan. If I forgive, immediately you see next day your chanting will be so amazing. Because Lord likes the quality of forgiveness. So that's here Krishna is teaching. And then Sanatana Goswami describes here, so there are 3 sets of calves and boys. One set, illusory set, is taken away by Brahma. The other set, who is Vishnu Tattva, all these Vishnu Tattvas, expansion of Krishna, they are playing with Krishna. They are the third set, the original calves and original cowherd boys. They are hidden by Krishna. Through his internal potency, they do not know and nobody knows about them. And Brahma also does not know only. Brahma only knows 2 sets. If we do not have these literatures, we will also think about 2 sets. But there were 3 sets. Lord Ram, he knew that because he is the director, no? Lord is the director, story, script writer, producer of all the Leela he does. So he is the one who has planned everything about abduction of Mother Sita. So one day before, he arranges Mother Sita to be taken away to Agni, and here comes the Chaya Sita, which is taken by Ravana. There are 2 sets. Imagine third set, Ram is still having Sita and still continuing his vanvas. Ravana will be completely bewildered. What is happening? But here there are 3 sets. We should be thankful to all these great acharyas, otherwise we will never know. We would never know about Eklavya if Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur wouldn't have explained to us. Every one of us, at least we read about Eklavya in our childhood in the books, and he is predicted, he is told as hero. Then only we realize who is Eklavya. Similarly about Karna. So all these things, what Krishna is talking in Bhagavad-Gita, guhyatamam, guhyataram. The most confidential. So Sanatana Goswami explains here, there were actually 3 sets. So one was illusory, Chaya, Maya, whatever we call, taken away by Brahma. Another, who was expansion of Lord Krishna, they were with Brajavasis. And the third, the original cowherd boys and calves, were hidden. They were there, but unseen by anyone, and they could not understand what is going on. So these are wonderful pastime of Lord Krishna. Many people, even sometimes after we become devotees, we have this tendency, because the heart is not sufficiently purified, you have tendency to argue. So Dr. Prabhupada calls this Dr. Frog's philosophy. Where the frog is trying to understand the Pacific Ocean, comparing with his own well. So many times, people say that they ask so many questions. Sometimes you can just laugh. What kind of question is that? So one question was asked recently: who is the creator of the creator? So first of all, what kind of question is, who is the creator of the creator? I said there might be many creators, but the supreme creator is Krishna, and no one has created him. He always existed. So when he came into existence, I said, because you are conditioned by time, you can only understand past, present and future, because we are under time, this kala. But the spiritual world is above kala. There is no influence of time, so we cannot understand. I said, for you it is only to be understood that Krishna is Supreme Lord, and practice bhajan, because we cannot understand. Sometime, suppose if a 3-year-old girl, she goes to mother and she says, "Mother, how was I born?" Mother will tell, "Oh, fairy came and then she delivered, home delivery, like you ordered something." She will not tell what happened. Even if mother wants to tell, this girl, young girl of 3 years old, she will not understand what is going on. Because she is not yet mature to understand all this. Neither the body nor the mind nor the intelligence, nothing is mature enough to understand these things. What offense we committed, we were with Krishna, that we had to come to this material world? I heard from one devotee, this question was asked to Prabhupada. Because this question comes every now and then. Every third question is this question. We were with Krishna. You are saying go back to Krishna, purify yourself. But we were with Krishna, how did we come down? So Prabhupada said, when you meet Krishna, you ask him. That Prabhupada is amazing. You cannot understand, because nobody will know. We have come, no astrologer can predict. No astrologer will be able to see the past so much that he can be sure about how did we come here. So all these confidential, pastimes of Lord are told to us, they are revealed to these acharyas, and they are told to us through these literatures. How Krishna creates illusion. There is illusion for devotees, there is illusion for non-devotees. Mahamaya and Yogamaya. When Vasudeva was bringing Krishna from Mathura to Gokul, so all the Brajavasis were under illusion, but through Yogamaya potency. Even Mother Yashoda didn't know. When Krishna took birth, even they call midwife, she was outside, and Nanda Baba, he was also sleeping. Everyone was under Yogamaya potency, but in the dream they are seeing what is going on. But you do not consider, we are taught do not consider dream as reality. And the people in Mathura, they are under Mahamaya, but they are also in illusion. So we are also illusioned, trying to awaken ourselves through the process of sadhana bhakti. We are illusioned by the external potency of the Lord. And such great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, they appear to awaken us. And Prabhupada gives this example: when you are sleeping, all your senses are, they are blocked. but ears are still open. So when you want to wake someone up, just say wake, get up. But we are conditioned souls. Krishna has given one facility and we are very nicely misutilizing that facility. Like in the alarm, you have this facility called snooze. You put the alarm at 3:30. Alarm is doing the duty, then you snooze. So after 5 minutes, 3:35, again you snooze. Again 3:40, again you snooze. Again the 4, 4:15, 4:30, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Till 6 o'clock we are keep on snoozing it. So Krishna comes, so many avatars come, so many yuga have been gone, so many acharyas come, and we are snoozing. Like the story of Kailash, where he tells Narad Muni. Narad Muni says, come with me. And he says, no, later. Then he becomes old, come with me. No, later. Then he becomes dog, come with me. No, later. Then he becomes snake. Still Narad Muni is saying, no, come with me. Then sometime we have to give, shock treatment. Acharya has to give, Guru has to give shock treatment. So then Narad Muni called Kailash's son from previous life and told you, there's a snake in your field, kill him. And this Kailash, who is now in the body of a snake, he is seeing his sons are killing him. And then he becomes detached. And we know this Brahma's pastime, Indra becoming a hog. So shock treatment is required. Sometimes people ask, so there was one person, becoming a devotee. I said, you should read Prabhupada's books. He said, I read. You should hear Prabhupada lecture. Prabhupada lecture, Prabhupada becomes angry. I said, because you have kids, when your kids do wrong, you become angry. Not that you are angry at them, but you are angry that why they are doing wrong and harming themselves. So please try to understand this anger of Prabhupada, which is coming in his voice. He's trying to say that why all of you are suffering? Why don't you come to the spiritual world? So we are snoozing life after life, life after life, life after life. So we need to wake up. And Krishna is so amazing and so merciful. He's waiting for us. He's waiting for us. When will they come? So this is our duty now to wake up. Then in the last paragraph, here it is mentioned about what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. And Krishna, because Vrajabhumi is Madhurya, there is no Aishwarya. And Aishwarya comes for a very short time. Like Mother Yashoda, she saw the entire universe within the mouth of Krishna. And immediately, my son is demigod, or he's Narayan himself. Yeah. Krishna thought, if my mother will treat me as Narayan, who am I? Who I am? But then who will feed me milk? Who will chastise me? I have not come here to do all these leelas which are going on in unlimited Vaikuntha planets. This is special. There is a higher rasa. And that is why, for people in general, it is very difficult to accept Krishna as God. They accept Ram as God, they accept Lord Vishnu as God, they accept Lord Narayana as God. To accept Krishna because his pastimes are bewildering. They cannot understand why God will want to be chastised by devotees. Then the answer is Krishna is Rasaraj. All the rasas are there in Krishna. And this rasa, to be chastised by devotees, is only in Krishna, which is not with Lord Narayan. Nobody can dare to chastise Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha. I am not aware about it. Never read or heard. But Krishna is being chastised. So this Aishwarya which came, it went off after a short while. So here Brahma is, it's coming in the Aishwarya of Krishna is saying, Vishwanath Thakur says, no, who is he? Who is this four-headed Brahma? Why is he here? What is he doing? What he keeps on saying, I do not understand. I am a cowherd boy. Like Lord Chaitanya when he went to the astrologer. So he asked astrologer, so astrologer, tell me about my previous birth. And astrologer is trying to meditate. And what he sees is all the different avatars. Varaha avatar, Vamana avatar, Narsingha avatar, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, everything, and he is bewildered. Lord understood he is bewildered. So then Lord asked, so what did you see? What can he say? He is seeing different incarnations of Krishna. So Lord says, okay, I'll come tomorrow. He said, okay, come tomorrow, I'll do a deep study on your chart. And comes tomorrow, same thing. Then Lord Chaitanya says, I was a cowherd boy in my previous life. A simple cowherd boy. So Krishna in the form of Krishna is most bewildering to the conditioned soul. You go to South India and you try to explain about Krishna. It's very easy for them to understand Lord Narayan is, the Supreme Lord. They worship him. But Krishna? Somehow it's our great fortune that we have been connected to Gaudiya Parampara. And Acharyas have explained how Krishna is the Supreme. He is avatari, not the avatar. So here Krishna is not interested in Aishwarya. Krishna is here to enjoy Madhurya Bhakti, to relish. So Krishna, here it is mentioned that Krishna is more interested in rejoining his cowherd boyfriends for the picnic lunch on the bank of Yamuna river. Because if you see externally, Krishna has been away from his cowherd boys and calves. Because the cowherd boys playing with Krishna, they are actually Krishna's expansion. So he is missing the devotees. So for Krishna, what is most important is his devotees. And if we can somehow or the other please devotees, then Krishna will be pleased with us. And if we offend devotees, then Krishna will be offended. Love me, love my dog. Now someone may say, okay, I'm trying to please Prabhupada. I come here 3 times a day and pay obeisances. And I try to follow what Prabhupada is saying. But other devotees, they are minuscule form of devotees. They are not real devotees. Then we have to go back to the basics and understand what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Anyone who chants Hare Krishna once is a devotee, is a Vaishnava. And Rupa Goswami says, even if he is a Kanishta Adhikari, you have to respect him. And our Acharyas, they go beyond. Devotees, they go beyond. Okay, nobody is a devotee. When Duryodhana was told, go and find out who's better than you. He came in the evening, he said, nobody. And Yudhishthir said, nobody is worse than me, I am the worst. I am the most fallen. So even if someone thinks, okay, these are not devotees, okay, 1 or 2 may be devotees, these are not devotees. Like one boy used to come in youth preaching and he said, Prabhu, call me whenever any sannyasi comes and gives class. Why? Okay. Then I said to one devotee was discussing, they are not devotees. Okay. They are not devotees, but are you a devotee? Yes. So then learn from Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat, he was a devotee. He does not want to even disturb an ant. Sripad Ramanujacharya. Very soon, there is a huge second tallest statue, sitting statue in the world is being, it will be unveiled, on 5th of Feb near Hyderabad. It's a great, great moment. A Vaishnava Acharya is being glorified in the world. Sripad Ramanujacharya. So Sripad Ramanujacharya, he walked up the Tirumala hill. He did not step over it. He has to go. So he used his knees and elbows. And he crawled. And he crawled. And he met Balaji. And Balaji told him, nobody is here to serve me. Please arrange someone. Okay. Ramanujacharya said, okay. Then Ramanujacharya came down. After, same, with his elbows and knees. The rocks. We cannot even walk on the plain surface. And he went up to Tirumala hill. Then, when he came down, he realized one ant on his body has come from Tirumala. Again he went up on elbows and knees just to leave this ant back. Because this ant is coming from Dham, why should go out? So we should be very careful, I tell devotees, not to take anything from Dham to outside. Let it be here. Someone has taken birth here in whatever form. If they leave their body, then they'll go back home. So this is what we see, how Lord is telling His own Son, and forgiveness. We learn the quality of forgiveness from the Lord. And then 3 different sets of calves and cowherd boys. And then Lord is here to relish Madhurya Leela and does not like to be disturbed by any Aishwarya thing, which is prayers of Brahma. He heard the prayers, now you go. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comment or...
Hare Krishna, thank you, Guru. You earlier mentioned the ability to be forgiving for offenses that someone makes, and you mentioned it's usually a minor offense. But there are cases where there are no forgiveness. I can give you an example. When we first came to India, there were 13 of us, and we traveled around different cities, and they would arrange programs for us. And normally they would build a pandal, and on the pandal there would be a vyasa-san, and then we devotees would sit on the pandal, and Prabhupada would be in the vyasa-san, and we would perform kirtan, and the audience would listen and chant, and Prabhupada would then give a lecture. However, on one occasion we went to a pandal program, and I was the first one to go up the stairs onto the pandal, and when I got to the top I saw the vyasa-san, and next to the vyasa-san there were 7 cushions. And sitting on the vyasa-san was a long-haired, whatever, yogi, and next to him were 6 sannyasis, Mayavadi sannyasis, and at the very end there was one empty cushion. And so when I got onto the stage, and I saw that this man was sitting in the vyasa-san, and I pointed at him and I said, "You get out of that vyasa-san. That vyasa-san is for Prabhupada." And so Prabhupada was right behind me, and he had his hand in his big bag, and he sort of motioned like this, "Okay, it's okay, it's okay." And he walked very nobly past all of these sannyasis who were sitting there holding their dandas, and he took seat on the last cushion. So because the pandal floor was full of all of these other people, there was only room for 2 of us to go onto the stage with Prabhupada. So it was myself and another devotee, Dinanath. And the other devotees, they sat on the floor in front of the stage. And this Mayavadi had the microphone and he began to speak. And we couldn't understand because he was using Hindi. During this time, Srila Prabhupada was chanting on his beads. And the only words that myself I understood was every once in a while he would say Narayan, 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 and then Prabhupada was chanting and chanting, and as he was chanting he began squeezing his beads harder and harder and harder, and finally he looked at me and he said, chant. And so I began to play the kartals, and Dinanath Prabhu was playing the mridanga, and we began to chant, and then the other devotees in front of the stage, they joined in and started chanting Hare Krishna, and slowly all of the attendees of the panel, they began chanting, and Prabhupada took out his kartals, and he began chanting, and we started chanting and chanting, and then standing up and dancing, and then the whole congregation, they began dancing and chanting, and the Mayavadis were sitting there. And the Guru, who was sitting on the Vyasa-san, he got up and he left the stage, and then one by one his disciples, they followed him and they left the program. And so normally Srila Prabhupada would give a speech at the end of the program, but on this occasion we just chanted and chanted and chanted, and the whole audience was enthralled by this chanting and dancing and singing the Hare Krishna mantra. And when we left the stage and went into our car, and Prabhupada was sitting in the front seat, and another devotee, we were sitting in the back seat, and then as we were driving, Prabhupada was very happy, and he said, "We kicked those Mayavadis in the face." So, if someone blasphemes a pure devotee or interprets like the Mayavadis that everyone is God, this is a poison. And they're poisoning the populace, whereas we're trying to purify them. So in this case, we don't forgive them. We kill them.
Thank you, Broji.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for enlightening us and quality of godliness. It's not a question, I just want to just give some more, if you have time to explain about first dream sister is told in that class, if somebody has spiritual dream. In discussion you were saying about the dream. So I just wanted to know if somebody has spiritual dream. So one should act on that, or?
So Prabhu's question is about the dream. If one has a spiritual dream, what should one do? So the Prabhupada said once that better to check with your spiritual master, because sometimes mind may trick and give such a spiritual dream. It may not be spiritual, and when it is spiritual, then spiritual master will also know. And so better for us to be on a safer side, we should check with the proper authorities. Sometimes because mind is here in the heart, soul is here, and super soul is here. So thoughts are coming from within. Now, any idea or any thought coming, whether it is coming from mind or soul or super soul, how do we know? We generally people say, oh, Paramatma ki awaaz hai. It's coming from Paramatma. No. So how to check? One is to check with authorities. Another, if we are not in a situation to check with someone, then don't act on it. If it is sound of Paramatma, it will again come. If you ignore the mind, mind will give another idea, it will not give same idea. You see that? Mind has unlimited ideas. But Paramatma, if Paramatma wants us to do something, he'll keep on repeating the same instruction. Like Prabhupada was given same instruction again and again. Take sannyas, take sannyas, take sannyas. Coming from spiritual master, take sannyas. So same instruction will come. Otherwise we should check to be on safer side.
It's true that there can be false dreams, and there can be many of the great saints had visions and dreams, and they took those instructions and followed them. So I can give you one example, which is in my personal life. Near here, there's the Nimbarka Sampradaya ashram, and one of the gurus, Samadhi, is there, and so there's a devotee named Kishori who stays there to maintain the ashram, and also doing worship for Govardhan Shila. And this Shila has been in their Sampradaya for 1200 years. And so I was taken there and given darshan of this small Shila, and then we ate prasadam, and then the pujari invited me to come for lunch the next day. And so I said, I will come, but I want to make something for Giriraj. So they agreed, and I cooked some very delicious sweet rice, and I gave it to the pujari, and he offered it to the deity. And then that night, in the pujari's dream, his Shila, his Govardhan, appeared in his dream, and he told him, he said that Gopala is my bhakta, and I like his sweet rice very much, and now I want to live with him. And so Kishori, he went to another of our friends, Biharilal, and told him this story. And so of course Kishori doesn't speak English, and he told this to Biharilal. So immediately they went to Govardhan Hill, and they got a Shila and brought it back, and they came to me and they told me this, but I had just had a heart attack and my health was weak, and I told them I cannot take care of Govardhan Shila, and so they took the Shila out and left, and then in front of Krishna Balaram, I was here and I fell down and my body became paralyzed. I couldn't move. My feet, my legs, my arms, I couldn't walk, I couldn't move. And they took me to the hospital in Bombay, and the doctors there, they didn't know my condition, so they had to research. And then after being paralyzed for 1 month, they they discovered the name of the disease, and fortunately there was medicines that could cure this disease. And slowly I began to regain mobility, and I was able to walk a little bit, and then I came back to Vrindavan. So while my treatments were going on, the Govardhan Shila appeared again in the dream of the Pujari, and he said to the Pujari, says, Gopal, he is coming back, and when he comes, you tell him I made him sick, because he won't let me live in his house. And so when I got here, they came again and they told me that story. And so after hearing this, I took the Shila and began worshiping him.
Yeah. We'll stop, Prabhu. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।